Hey guys, it's Ash here with WatchMojo, and these are the top 20 surprisingly overpowered anime characters.
These destroyers are bad. We need new ones.
Number 20, Charmy, Black Clover. The Black Bulls are a squad of magic knights that has a plethora of unusual and unusually strong members, but none of quite the disconnect between appearance and strength as Charmy Pappitson. A short girl with a big appetite, Charmy frequently acts as comic relief and is often drawn in the chibi style, which only emphasizes her stature and adorability. While her magic alone, which creates cotton, also seems rather cute, Charmy is able to use it to restrain her foes and even create enormous sheep, which she can use to easily clobber her foes into defeat. Of course, nothing compares to when she brings out the big bad wolf. Number 19, Krebskulum. How not to summon a demon lord. Krem looks like an ordinary girl, in the fantasy sense anyway, but her childlike appearance, attitudes, and love of sweets hide her darker origins.
ビスケットだよ。
Krem is actually Krebskulum, a large and powerful demon lord. Krebskulum may have reverted to an immature state, but she can return to her former glory when triggered. In her demonic form, Krem can prove to be a match for even Diablo with her formidable and destructive magic. She may have a sweet tooth, but once she gets going, she's anything but. Number 18, Hina, Hinamatsuri. A mysterious and unemotional girl, Hina drops into the life of a Yakuza and begins staying with him as his pseudo-daughter.
力は常に使わないと暴走する。
そういうのは早く言え。
Lazy, aloof, and very particular about food, Hina doesn't strike most as being particularly threatening. However, she also has several superhuman abilities, including spontaneous combustion and telekinesis, all of which are the result of her being experimented on and turned into a human weapon, which could explain her emotional distance.
あっち向いてほい。
No, did we mention she's from the future?
種も仕掛けもありません。
Number 17, Puck. ReZero starting life in another world. A small grey cat-like spirit that used to be a human, Puck is basically the definition of non-threatening.
2対1で勝てと思ってんのか。
そうね。2対1は不公平かも。じゃあ2対2なら対等な条件かな。
Contracted with Emilia, Puck has several picky stipulations to their partnership, but is generally caring and fun-loving.
僕の娘に何をしている。ゲロども。
However, they can also alter their size to become a massive monster worthy of the name Beast of the End.
勝ち逃げされたな。さて、話をしようか。
Puck is so strong in this state that they can drain the energy from everything around them, causing it to freeze. They even killed Subaru effortlessly from a great distance away.
眠れ、我が娘と共に。
Number 16, Shinobu Oshino. Monogatari series. A withdrawn but occasionally cheerful girl, Shinobu is another supernatural being who has reverted to a less powerful state.
引きつけたというその噂の中において、わしは神として崇められておったのじゃから、対峙すべき対象ではなかったのじゃよ。
In her case, she used to be a vampire of incredible strength, with the rather ridiculous name of Kiss Shot Acerola Orion Heart Under Blade, and was able to regenerate, destroy things by looking at them, and even leap between hemispheres. Unfortunately for her, Shinobu can only return to that form after sucking blood, which she doesn't exactly get a lot of these days.
ちょっと僕は人間なんだよ。
そうか、わしは吸血鬼じゃ。
Number 15, Isaac Netero. Hunter x Hunter. Surprising strength doesn't just belong to the young. Netero is the chairman of the Hunter organization, a powerful group devoted to those who enthusiastically seek things, and most of whom can use mythical nen abilities. Netero may be getting on in years, but is in no way past his prime. He's able to survive large jumps without injury, is superhumanly durable, and his nen abilities usually involve projecting enormous golden statues to deliver devastating blows and energy blasts.
前と出会えたこれまでの全てに
If not for the similarly overpowered nature of his final opponents, Netero would still be top dog.
ありのメルエルお前さんは何にも分かっちゃいねえよ
Number 14, Rimuru Tempest. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Incredible things can come in small packages, and they don't get much smaller or more pathetic than a slime.
アホか認められるかでもスライムだよな人間じゃない
Upon his death, Satoru Mikami is reincarnated as the weakest of video game enemies. However, the renamed Rimuru Tempest is able to use his body's innate ability to absorb pretty much everything, and then mimic their properties to rapidly acquire a host of powerful abilities and forms that he can shift into.
スキル炊事
To the extent that he eventually evolves himself into a demonic entity capable of returning the souls of the dead.
悪デーモンだと。ただいま戻りました、我が君。
Number 13, Kale. Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball fans have waited decades for Toriyama to include some more female Saiyan characters. We can imagine their surprise when one of them turned out to be the rather timid Kale, an apprentice to a more assertive Saiyan, Caulifla.
ゲール出てきな分かってんだよ
Kale may seem like the opposite of the typical member of the warrior race, but upon going Super Saiyan, Kale initially goes berserk.
キャベまずお前から血祭りにあげてやる
Revealing to be a legendary Super Saiyan, essentially the Broly of her universe. She was certainly strong enough to make Goku work up a sweat. Number 12, Saitama, One Punch Man. The guy who's a hero for fun, Saitama may not look like much with his dorky costume, blank expression, and unassuming personality, but those who see his power learn to take him seriously.
圧倒的な力ってのはつまらないもんだ
After a rather mundane power awakening, Saitama instantly became the strongest in the world.
連続普通のパンチ
The Caped Baldy is so strong in fact that he finds himself desperate to find a challenging opponent to make him feel alive again. Granted godly speed and strength enough to break apart a meteor or jump from the moon to the earth, Saitama can also famously defeat anyone with a single punch, to his endless frustration.
ワンパンで終わっちまった。
Number 11, Haruhi Suzumiya. The melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, who knew God was a teenage girl. Haruhi appears to be an average, if extremely eccentric and pushy high schooler. Yet her desires often manifest themselves as if by magic. This is later explained to be due to the fact that Haruhi is the closest thing to a deity, and despite not being aware that she's doing it, reality conforms to her desires, and if she isn't kept in check, she could destroy the entire universe. Number 10. Len. Sword Art Online alternative Gun Gale Online. She comes up to everyone's hip, and she's the only gunslinger around whose choice of wardrobe consists of every shade of bright pink imaginable. However, you would be a fool to underestimate her, as Len's exceptional speed and itchy trigger finger have led her to wipe out numerous professionals across the virtual gaming world of Gun Gale. She's conquered all manner of treacherous terrains and even outmaneuvered combat professionals, all the while restraining her signature cuteness. All you Battle Royale players had better be wary. Number 9. Tony Chopper. One Piece. You wouldn't expect a talking reindeer to be a pirate crew's resident doctor, let alone a powerhouse. So it was pretty shocking to see that this devil fruit user had access to a whole variety of forms outside of his cuddly defaults. He can bulk up into a towering muscle man, turn himself into a karate expert, as well as unleash the monster within, becoming a beast that could beat the 7 bells out of any CP9 lackey. Remember folks, fluffy doesn't always equal harmless. Number 8. Sebas. Overlord. By now, it would probably be safest to assume that every anime butler is essentially a living weapon. Even by those standards, you'd be hard-pressed to find one that's more OP than this servant of Ainz Orgone. When a lady friend of his gets kidnapped, Sebas was all too happy to demonstrate that just because he cleaned up after the other floor guardians, it didn't mean he was a pushover. With nothing more than a few bouts of fisticuffs, he managed to remove the heads of a feared criminal organization's deadliest members. Talk about served. Number 7. Pride. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The homunculi are well known for their monstrous forms and killer fighting ability, though who would have guessed that the deadliest of the bunch would be a child?
You ask my name? It's Pride. And I was the first homunculus.
With the entire country acting as his flask, the first homunculus was a being capable of conjuring solid shadows that could easily slice apart and devour any careless mortals. Hell, he was even willing to kill his own brood to suit his purposes. He's a dedicated son, one who was more than happy to send legions of alchemists to their doom in the name of father. Number 6. Kusuo Saiki. The disastrous life of Saiki K. Blessed, or cursed if you ask him, with incredible psychic powers, this pink-haired teenager has enough power to manipulate the minds of the entire planet with just a thought.
つまり壁に寄りかかったら壁はウエハースのように壊れ、人とぶつかったりしたらそいつは遥か彼方に吹き飛んでいき、もしこの状態で走ったりしたら風圧で周りの人の服を切り裂いていく。
In fact, he has, multiple times. While he tries his best to live a boring life, Saiki often finds himself having to use his near-infinite abilities to save his loved ones from harm, or just get himself out of an annoying situation.
ただ届かなかったら困るから気持ち強めに。
Humanity doesn't know how lucky they are, because it wouldn't take much for Psyche to blow up the planet.
小5の頃の僕はタワーマンションくらい軽く持ってたし、月くらいなら軽く破壊できただろう。
Number 5. Toma Kamisho. A certain magical index. While he may take the crown for unluckiest character in all of anime, at least Toma can rest easy, knowing he never has to worry about any high-level espers getting the jump on him.
なんていうか、不幸っつうか、ついてねえよな。お前、本当についてねえよ。
Why? Because he can cancel their abilities in an instant, that's why. As such, not even the mass-murdering Accelerator or Mikoto, the railgun, can hold a candle to him.
ドバッカ響くぞ!
Hell, it even allowed him the chance to sock an evil nun right in the face. Twice. We'd say losing all good fortune in the process is a small price to pay. Number 4. Mob Psycho 100. You might be thinking, how could such a precious peach like this even be considered overpowered?
じゃあ影山。
はい。わかりません。
Well, as long as you keep his emotional gauge as close to zero as possible, then he's as harmless as can be. However, if it manages to reach 100, then prepare to have your mind blown. As the most powerful esper to ever exist, when Mob lets loose, he doesn't just annihilate his foes, he turns everything into a psychedelic fever dream.
僕は最低だ。
Push him too far and he's likely to take an entire city apart. Thankfully, his sweet boy personality tends to stop him from destroying mankind. Most of the time. Number 3. Arale Norimaki. Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball series. We can only imagine that Dr. Gero is bashing head against wall down in robot hell. After all, if only he had employed this android to wipe out Goku and friends, then he would have had nothing to worry about. That's right, this guest character from Akira Toriyama's previous work has enough power to split a planet in half with a punch. That's not a joke, she actually did that.
Yep, that's right. I'm a robot.
What? You're kidding me!
Oh, and she managed to make short work of Vegeta.
Tag, you're it now.
In short, if you see this adorable machine, run for the hills, because her version of playtime often leads to widespread destruction. Number 2. Zeno, Dragon Ball Super. The Dragon Ball franchise has given us no shortage of characters capable of destroying whole worlds with the snap of their fingers. But there's only one that can erase entire universes, and that would be this weird little popsicle.
These destroyers are bad. We need new ones. Just kidding.
Standing atop the pedestal as the strongest entity in existence, the Omni King is as powerful as he is childish. One all too eager to set up a tournament between all 12 universes, wherein the losers would be removed from time and space, just for giggles. Best to stay on his good side. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Escanor, the 7 Deadly Sins. Meliodas might pack a hell of a punch, and Ban might be one smooth criminal, but neither of them have managed to match the shock and awe we felt during the reveal of the Lion's Sin of Pride.
それが傲慢のです。
While appearing to be nothing more than a meager man with an admittedly impressive mustache, Escanor soon proved doubters otherwise when he unleashed his true form, one packing more muscles than we believed possible.
あの人、なんで一人だけ動けんだよ。あの人は7つの大罪、最強の男。
Only to then go on to slay 2 of the 10 commandments like they were paper dolls.
言ったでしょ。まともには死ねないと。震えるさん。
Manly doesn't even begin to cover it.
死ね。
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.